Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Iowa Volleyball as your Hawkeyes tonight take on the Michigan State Spartans. And I promise you that I'll probably mess this up at least once, but tonight we're in Carver Hawkeye Arena again, as there was a little technical difficulty in Extreme Arena and brought us back to Carver. So matches tonight and tomorrow against Michigan will take place here in Carver. So little old home reunion here for the Hawkeyes. The Hawkeyes come into the match tonight 2-10, although they played fairly well. Just can't quite figure out how to close out some matches. Lost 4 5-set matches and just 3 4-set matches. So been competitive, been around, just haven't been able to figure out how to completely seal the deal. Michigan State comes into tonight 7-4. 0-2 in conference as they drop their first 2 conference matches to Indiana and to Michigan. Iowa's opponent tomorrow night. Iowa is 0-2 after falling in 5 to Illinois and then losing at Nebraska last Saturday. Big Ten volleyball is, again, a handful as 6 teams are ranked in the top 25. And the majority of those teams, as I take a quick glance, goes down to Penn State at 14, so 6 in the top 14. And it's been a little wacky to start the year as Ohio State came into conference 10-0, ranked in the top 5 in the country, and immediately lost their first 2 Big Ten matches. So the number 8 team in the country is 0-2. So interesting beginning of the season. Purdue, Illinois, Penn State, Nebraska, and Minnesota all started 2-0. And that was Penn State coming from behind and winning, dropping the first 2 sets to Maryland, and then coming back and handing Maryland its first loss of the year. And so Maryland is now 1-1 and 13-1 on the season. So again, a lot of good volleyball going on in the Big Ten. As always, the Hawks led by the preseason first team All Big Ten player Courtney Bizzario. Courtney is averaging 4.66 kills per set. She is, let's see, Courtney is 14th in the nation in kills per set, second in the Big Ten. She's second in the Big Ten in points scored per set. She's first in the nation and 19th in the nation in kills with 219. So obviously the Hawkeye offense is going to run through court. Changed last weekend, so we'll see 2 different setters getting her the ball as Jenna Split and Bailey Ortega now are running, I guess we'll call it a 5-2, so 2 setters but 5 hitters staying in. So hitters switching spots when they get to the front row. Jenna's been in the front row, then Bailey will play the back row now. Bailey still leads with 9.15 assists per set, and Jenna now's chipping in at 4.5. So Hawks getting good production there, hitting 198 as a team. Courtney hitting 224 with her 4.66 kills per set. But then you have Kendra Hansen with 1.94, Amaya Jones 1.74, Hannah Clayton 1.96, and Addie Vanderweide at 2.3. So Hawks have started to get more production from other hitters outside of Courtney, and if they're going to have success in the Big Ten, that's going to be very important to build some depth, give some different looks to their offense so that the blocking on the other team can't just sit on Courtney. Michigan State, similar story with them, as Sarah Franklin is their go-to, do everything. She averages almost 4 kills per set. She hits 268. So we'll try to keep, Hawks will have to try to keep a hold of her. But they also then get Cecily Max Brown with 2.81, Rebecca Poljan at 2.5, and Biamba Kabengele at 2.41. So they're getting some hitters around in some other places too. So the Hawks defense will be a little spread out. The serve-receive game will be huge again, as it always is. But if they can serve a little bit, the straight set match that Iowa won against Iowa State a couple weekends ago really won the serve and receive game. They served Iowa State out of system. Iowa State couldn't run an offense that they wanted to run, and it really helped Iowa control that match. So we're going to step away here as the national anthem and starting lineups, and then we will be back. We will be back with some Hawkeye volleyball. I am John Evans. Hawkeye volleyball is brought to you from Learfield. Welcome back to Carver Hawkeye Arena. The Wiffles Hybrid pregame show was brought to you. Get more out of your seed corn investment with Wiffles Hybrids. Wiffles offers the highest performing corn genetics, the most advanced seed technology, and people who genuinely care about you and your success. Wiffles Hybrids, where you're more than just a number. Real quick, the quick starting lineups for Michigan State: Edmonds, Cullen, Cabangeli, Franklin, Gross, Max Brown, and Poljan. Usual crew for the Hawks: Bazario, Hansen, Jones, Ortega, Slagle, Clayton, and Vanderwide. Hawks tonight in pink as their breast cancer awareness night. Good crowd tonight for having a football game going on as well. The crowd's got pink. Michigan State in green. We've already heard one go green. Fortunately, didn't hear the go white behind it. Got the refs checking the lineups. And we are just a minute or so away from first serve. Again, the Hawks will see if they can start fast and put some pressure on Michigan State. Try to get a pile of points going and run good offense again. It'll all relate to the serve and pass game and who wins that. Michigan State on the season's been a little bit better hitting team statistically. Although I would say that their competition probably hasn't quite been what the Hawkeyes have played, so we'll see. Starting off to serve for Michigan State will be Talia Edmonds, the libero. Spins it, she comes forward, and we're underway. Hansen, pass to Ortega, middle attack from Jones. Ball goes long, no touch. Hitting air from Jones gives the point to Michigan State. It's 1-0. Bounces it on her hand and comes forward. Goes it Slagle. Slagle lets it float into the corner and lands in. Ace serve, it's 2-0. If the Hawks can stop the run here. Edmonds again. Fires it this time. Hansen, good pass to Ortega. Right side to Bazario, solo block. She got that one. Edmonds hoped it was long because she couldn't make the play, but it'll go for Bazario's first kill. Slagle goes out. Clayton comes into the front row, and Jones goes to the service line. Amaya bounces forward and floats it over. Dives right in front. Michigan State. That'll go as an ace serve for Jones. Little miscommunication there on second contact for Michigan State, but the first one wasn't very good. And Jones comes forward again. A little more heat this time. Good pass this time. Cullen goes right side. Goes through the block, and that's Poljan with the kill. Hawks battle back, and now it's 3-2 Michigan State. Cullen, the setter, back to the service line. She rolls forward and fires. Vanderwide to Ortega, outside to Hansen. Big swing, got it. Right down the line, too hot for Cullen to handle, and we're tied at 3. Ortega out, split in. And Bazario to the service line for the Hawks. Court tosses it up, fires it off the tape, falls in for an ace. Right in front of a diving Johnson. Nope, I'm sorry, that was Franklin who couldn't make the play. And the Hawks have their first lead, 4-3. Buzz with the spin and comes forward. Right down the line again. Franklin handles it with hands. Cullen, middle attack. Misconnects, but got it. Poljan knocks it over. Looked like Bazario could have had it, but just caught her off guard with the deflection. We're tied at 4. Cabangeli back to serve for Michigan State. 4 all here in the early going. She fires. Oh, handled by Vanderwide. Split outside of Hansen, has to roll it over. Blocked but covered on the Hawk side. Split back row to Bizzario. Goes high over the block, dug by Cullen. Platformed out by the libero and put into the net by Franklin. Hawks probably deserved that point from the beginning as Vanderwide played it. I think it was probably out. Hawks get it on the hitting error. Hinkle comes in now for Hansen, and she'll serve. Right down the line. Bad pass. Cullen handles it, though. Hawks get it. Vanderwide sets it. Hinkle just tips it over. Ball's tight. Cullen off the block, dug by Slagle. Split chases it down. Outside to Vanderwide, off the block, covered by Slagle. Back row attack from Bizzario goes out, and the hitting error ties it at 5. A little sloppy for both teams here in the early going. Slow to get moving. Poljan back to serve for Michigan State. Flat-footed serve, fires it at Hinkle. Good pass to Split, behind her to Clayton. Ball's in play, back row coming, rolled over Hinkle. Good pass again to Split, outside to Vanderwide, off the block and out of bounds, scores, give it to the Hawks. Hawks on top 6-5. Clayton goes out, Jones goes into the front row, and Slagle rolls over to the service line. Maddie in the black jersey. Goes right down the line, good serve. Pass off the net, right side attack coming, dug by Bizzario, back to Michigan State side. Hands played, Cullen, middle attack is off, and Gross tips it out of bounds. Hawks have their first 2-point lead now at 7-5. Slagle to fire again. Floats it over this time. Ball's off the net again. Outside attack coming. Goes long. Touch called. So give the kill to Max Brown. Seven, 6, Iowa on top. Franklin to the service line. Hammers it long. Hawks on top 8-6. Split goes out. Ortega will come in and she'll serve. Bailey kind of serving it from the 1-6 seam here, right on the edge of the free throw line, or free throw lane. Goes cross. Good pass. Cullen just dunks it right over. Franklin put it right on top of the net. Cullen went up and got it. No, middle wasn't up with her. Good decoy from Cullen as she went up with both hands, made it look like she was going to set it, and just dunked it over with her left hand. Max Brown to serve for Michigan State. Into the net, trickles over. Hawks weren't ready, another ace serve, and we're tied at 8. Not a lot you can do about that. Somebody's got to keep their eye on the ball. That ball was out, and it was called in. We'll see what happens here. I think he wants to challenge. That was pretty much. I think she was right, though. They told her it was in. I think it was out, but might have been. I thought it was out. That was the best view I'd had on one, right down my line. But it's not my challenge to use, so that's okay. Michigan State on top on the ace serve again now, 9-8. Max Brown to serve again. Vanderwide, ball's off the net. Ortega goes middle to Bizzario. She tips it over. Good dig by Edmonds. Right side attack, high off the hands. Hinkle tries to dive and get it, but it goes out of play. And Michigan State scores to make it 10-8, and that's 4 in a row. Difference in the challenge rules this year, she's only got 2 challenges, so you really kind of want to be sure. If you get the challenge right, you keep it, but if you're wrong, you lose it, and that's a big risk early in the first set. Hinkle, tough pass. Vanderwide with a right side attack. Edmonds, good dig. Oop, platformed outside as Cabangeli misplays it. And the Hawks break the run and pull back to within 1 at 10-9. Gonna have to get my replay official buddy Dane to give me thumbs up or down on that. Vanderwide to serve for the Hawks. Good serve, bad pass. Edmonds has to platform it. Cabangeli rolls it over. Oh, block goes off the hands high and long. And it's 11-9, Michigan State. Michigan State wins the first lap around 11-9 as Edmonds goes back to the service line. She fires. Diving play by Slagle. Ortega gets underneath it. Great job. Hansen rolls it over. Cullen chases it down. Ball's out of rhythm. Slagle platforms it. Ortega, middle attack. Jones scores. You know, you watch some games and the action is fast and crisp. We do not have that yet tonight. We'll see if we get there. 11-10. Hawks trail by 1. Jones to the service line. She floats it over. Diving play. Ball's off the net again. Cabangeli flat foots it over. Goes wide. Another hitting error. We're tied at 11. Jones to serve again. Floats it over into the net. Tried to take something off that one and drop it right in front of that back row player. Just took a little too much. Service error puts Michigan State back ahead by 1 and sends Cullen to the service line. Little cleanup due here. Cullen to serve. Floats it over. Hansen, good pass to Ortega. Behind her to Bizario. High off the hands. Edmonds gets it. Cullen goes up. Right side attack. High off the block. Vanderwide gets it. Ortega. Middle attack from Clayton. Off the hands. Scores. We're tied at 12 with the Clayton kill. Three aces for Michigan State, 2 for Iowa. Bizario to serve, tied at 12. Was right down the line, long. 13-12, back-to-back service errors for the Hawks. And Cabangeli to serve for Michigan State. Off the tape, good pass from Hansen. Split behind her to Clayton. Off the block, covered by Slagle, by Slagle. Split off Hansen, covered again. Hawks get it over. Not sure that was entirely on the up and up. Ball goes long. Hawks score. We're going to have a Michigan State challenge would be my guess, but maybe not. They're just wanting something to happen. Look like 4 contacts on the Hawks, but when they bump into each other, I think you get simultaneous contact. No challenge coming, so we're tied at 13. Hinkle to serve for the Hawks. She gets it in. Cullen, middle attack coming, off the hands. That was Franklin. Run a good middle attack there. Basically, Michigan State does what the Hawks do with Courtney. You run her wherever you need to try to keep the defense off balance. Pole Jan to serve for Michigan State. Flat-footed, floats it over. Hinkle. Split. Back row attack from Bizario. Blocked. Split covers. Slagle diving play, and Hawks get it over. Cabangeli. Right side attack coming. Tipped over. Slagle diving play, but she puts it into the net, and the Hawks can't do anything with it. 15-13, Michigan State on top. Pole Jan to serve again. Flat-footed from the 5 spot. Floats it over. Hinkle. Split outside to Vanderwide. Off pole gem, goes out of bounds into the Michigan State bench. Vanderwide kill, Hawks back within one, 15-14. Addie's got 3 kills on 4 swings, doing a nice job tonight. Slagle to serve. Comes cross. Caused some traffic. Edmonds. Slagle, good play. But Courtney was in transition. And Split couldn't quite get to the ball. It's that everybody's in a half-step slow mode still on both sides. 16-14 Michigan State. Franklin to serve. Fires it at Hinkle. Slagle uses hands out to Vanderwide. Off the block. And nobody goes after to cover. And it's 17-14 Michigan State. And the Hawks will use their first timeout as Michigan State has the biggest lead of the set at 17-14. We'll take the timeout as well. You're listening to Hawkeye Volleyball from Learfield. Welcome back to Hawkeye Volleyball. Iowa Volleyball is brought to you by the University of Iowa Sports Medicine, offering sports injury prevention, treatment, and rehabilitation to athletes of all ages and skill levels. University of Iowa Sports Medicine, team physician of your Iowa Hawks. Hawks hitting 200 now, 7 kills, 3 errors. As Vanderwide's last swing there went for an error, she's still hitting 400 with 3 kills. Otherwise, the Hawks offense a little bit stuck in neutral there. Michigan State hitting 263, 9 kills and 4 errors. 3 aces for Michigan State to 1 service error, 2 aces, 2 errors for the Hawks. Again, that feels like that was going to be a big stat. Both teams with 6 digs, both teams with 1 block, so pretty even so far. Franklin to serve. And the Hawks let it go long. Coach's timeout gets it done. Split goes out, Ortega comes in. Hawks down by 2 here, midway through the first set. Bailey comes forward, right down the line. They let it go long. Hawks not doing themselves any favors at all here. 18-15 now, Michigan State on top. Max Brown to serve for the Spartans. She comes forward. Hinkle. Slagle takes it. Bizzario on the outside. Dug up. Ball goes wide, though, as it ricochets over onto the Hawks side. A little bit of panic there as it was coming onto the Hawks side and was pretty close to this near sideline. Bizzario kill, pulls the Hawks within 2, 18-16. Hinkle goes out, Hansen comes in, and Vanderwide to the service line. Max Brown gets it, Cullen middle attack, off the nape. And again, that's that Hawks just seem out of rhythm there as the ball hits the tape. Bailey just kind of stabbed at it with one hand instead of making a good committed effort to it. And the back row kill makes it 19-16. Edmonds to serve for Michigan State. Slagle, bad pass. Vanderwide platforms it over. Hansen, big swing. And that'll be a kill as the ball goes into the crowd. Love the aggressive swing from Kendra. The Hawks back to within 2, 19-17. Jones to the service line for the Hawks. Max Brown gets it. Cullen outside. Kamengele goes, dug by Jones. Ortega, back row attack from Vanderwide. Ball's played by Max Brown, and that'll go for a Hawk kill. Back row attack there for Vanderwide. Jones will have a chance to tie it for the Hawks. Amaya hops forward, fires. Bad pass. That's an ace serve. Amaya's second of the night, and we're tied at 19. Timeout, Michigan State. Tied at 19 here in the first set. We'll take a break. You're listening to Hawkeye Volleyball from Learfield. Welcome back to Carver Hawkeye Arena and Hawkeye Volleyball. Hawkeyes and Spartans tied at 19 here in the first set. 9 ties, 2 lead changes, and a pretty tight first set. Michigan State went out to an early lead. Hawks crawled back and took the lead. Michigan State rolled ahead for a little bit. And now the Hawks have battled back to tie, and we'll play a first set to 6 here to see who gets the early upper hand. Hawks now up hitting 304, so since that timeout, got it going offensively a little. Michigan State hitting 286, so still very even battle here, and the scoreboard shows that. Jones to serve for the Hawks. Just over. Max Brown, good pass. Right side attack coming high off the hands, blocked back on the Michigan State side. Michigan State pushes it outside. Kamengele tips it. Ortega gets it up. Jones uses hands. Good play. Hansen off the block. Hansen tips it right back through the block. Coming right back. Cullen right side attack. Off the block. Clayton goes back over on one. Max Brown, back row attack coming. Goes through the block. Jones can't quite get it dug up. I think that was Franklin from the back row, and it's 20-19 Michigan State. Hawks had a chance to crawl back to the lead there. Couldn't quite get it done. Cullen now to serve for the Spartans. Floats it over. Vanderwide, diving play. Ortega outside to Hansen. Good dig by Cullen. Edmonds gets it. They'll put it back over. Slagle. Ortega outside to Hansen again. She's blocked. Hawks can't cover. I like Kendra's last 2 swings, so I like the thought of it, but I also like Bizzario on the right side. Michigan State by 2, 21-19. Hawks need to stop the run here. Cullen, some low bounces, and she'll come forward and fire. Floats it over, Vanderwide, good pass. Right side to Bizzario, ball's inside and goes wide. Wasn't the greatest connection, 3 straight for Michigan State. And they've taken control here of the first set. Coach Brown will call timeout. We'll go ahead and take it as well. 22-19, Michigan State leads set 1. You're listening to Hawkeye Volleyball from Learfield. Welcome back to Carver Hawkeye Arena. Michigan State on top 22-19 here in the first set. as the Hawks, as I look at it, 17-14 timeout, the Hawks were hitting 200. 19 all timeout, the Hawks were hitting 304. 22-19 timeout, Hawks hitting 214. So we'll call that an erratic offense, as Michigan State should have 2 blocks now, as still only credited with 1, but they did block Hansen there on the last one. So 22-19, Michigan State on top. Cullen to serve for the Spartans. She floats it over. Vanderwide, good pass to Ortega. Middle attack from Clayton. Dug up. Slagle. Ortega, middle attack from Clayton. Blocked. Covered by Ortega. Platformed over to Bazzario. Sharp cross and scores. Cullen couldn't handle it. 22-20. Hawks with a much needed point there. Split comes in. Ortega goes out. Bazzario to serve. Buzz tosses, comes forward, goes cross. Edmonds gets it. Middle attack. Dug by Bazzario. Over the end line, though. And it's 23-20, Michigan State. Update from College Park. The Hawks get a field goal from Caleb Schudek. They lead 3-0 early in the first quarter. Danziger to serve for Michigan State, her first action. 23-20, they're on top. From the 5 spot, she knocks it over. Vanderwide, split, outside to Hansen, blocked. Split covers it. Bazzario platforms it. Vanderwide just bumps it over. Michigan State plays it. Right side attack coming off the antenna. Sloppy play from Franklin there. And it's 21-13. It was a tough play for her. She took the first ball slow in the middle, rather than let the libero take it. And then by the time she transitioned to the right side, she just wasn't able to get into position. Hinkle to serve for the Hawks. Goes cross, Edmonds, good pass, Cullen, right side. Block back onto the Michigan State side. Michigan State in play, Cullen pushes it back outside. Off the block, dug by Hinkle. Bazzario chases it down, platforms it up, Vanderwide, tips it over, catches the line. We got a beggar on the Michigan State side, and then the bench is telling her not to challenge. So 23-20 on the two-handed push kill. Hinkle will serve. Hawks have crawled back in the set. Mari hops, fires. Edmonds, bad pass. Well, Cullen gets a good play on it. And it is hammered down by Franklin on the middle attack. And Michigan State has a couple set points. Again, they use Franklin a little bit of everywhere. Not afraid to go to her, and she does a really nice job in the middle there. Pole jam with the flat-footed serve. Knocks it over. Hinkle, good pass to Split. Behind her to Clayton, has to tip. Diving play back to the Hawks side. Bazzario, Split, pushes it outside. Vanderwide with the left hand scores. My goodness. The freshman scored on 2 just crazy kills here with a two-handed push kill to the far sideline for her and a left-handed keep it inside the antenna kill right in front of the diving Edmonds. Hawks hold off 1 set point. Slagle knocks it over. Little collision. Cullen, right side tipped over. Gosh, too easy. And that will give the first set to Michigan State, 25-23. Hawks play hard, can't quite get it done. And Michigan State takes set 1. We'll take a break. Michigan State leads 1-0. You're listening to Hawkeye Volleyball from Learfield. Welcome back to Hawkeye Volleyball tonight and tomorrow night in Carver Hawkeye Arena. I'm John Evans. Michigan State took set one, 25-23 from the Hawks. Addie Vanderwide had 5 kills for the Hawks. Hit 571, really great job. Showed the wide variety of shots. I've said it a couple times on different broadcasts. Shows a lot of skill and maturity for a freshman. She's got a lot of different shots, able to get a bunch of different things done. Hawks hit 257 in the first set, so didn't do a terrible job, but they allowed Michigan State to hit 312, and Sarah Franklin, 7 kills, hit 417. So Hawks will have to find a way to slow her down. As much like Bizzario, they're going to go to her, so the Hawks will have to find a way to get some touches and make sure they identify as they run her through a bunch of different spots. 2 lead changes, 9 ties. Because again, it felt a little closer than that, but it was back and forth, and never really got much of a lead there until Michigan State finally pulled away towards the end of the set. So Hawks will have to regroup. That's kind of been the theme of the season, is trying to find a way to close those sets, as they've been 22, 23 points a lot of times, just haven't figured out how to be on the 25, 23 end of those very often. It's like the Hawks will serve to start set 2. Be Ortega to serve. See what, no, I'm sorry, it'll be Vanderwide to serve. Five kills in the first set, as I mentioned. They served at her 7 times. She had a dig. So front row, back row, Addie did it all. Goes over. Service error to start the set, though. Served a little more aggressively than she normally does. Ball floated a little bit long on her. And Michigan State on top. Cullen to serve. Cullen rolls it forward, floats it over. Slagle passes off the net to Ortega. Bizzario high off the hands. Bizzario kill, give her 4, and we're tied at 1. Jones and her 2 aces back to the service line for the Hawks. Jones gets 16 aces on the year, leads the team, drops one in front. Cullen right side, off the block. Covered up though by Michigan State. Cullen middle attack, comes over on the Hawks side, over to the Hawks side again. Hansen, Ortega, back row from Vanderwide, rolls it over and scores. Another beauty. I forgot that one when I said that in the first set. She scored from the back row also. I'm not sure Addie's had a regular outside hitter attack for a kill. Hawks have their first lead on the back row roll shot. Vanderwide with 6 now. Jones just slow bouncing the ball. Floor's cleaned up, she fires. Long. 2 aces, 2 errors for Amaya. Unfortunately, Michigan State has 2 points on 2 service errors for the Hawks. Kabengele to serve for Michigan State. She comes straight up through the 5 spot here. Rolls forward and fires it cross. Vanderwide, bad pass. Hansen handles it. Back row, flat-footed from Vanderwide. Edmonds, Cullen, middle attack, raked over. Vanderwide, Ortega behind her to Bizzario, tips. Edmonds is there easy. Cullen, back row, no, comes over. Diving play by Ortega. Slagle, back row from Vanderwide this time. Rolls it around the block. Cullen digs it. Platform from Edmonds. Right side from Franklin. And that's an easy score. (3-2) Michigan State on top. Hansen with a shoe tie and a little floor cleanup, so we'll take a little longer. You forget coming back to Carver, it's 1,000 degrees in here when it's warm outside, and it has been warm recently. And what a difference it would have made playing in Extreme Arena, playing on the ice. Update from College Park, touchdown Maryland. They lead 7-3. Kabengele off the tape. Vanderwide to Ortega. Middle attack. Clayton scores. Tied up at 3. Danziger in to serve for Michigan State. Oh, I'm sorry, she's just in to play the back row for Kabengele. Bizzario will serve for the Hawks. Buzz goes cross. Franklin plays it. Middle from Franklin, rolls it, blocked by Clayton. Franklin tried to go soft, didn't quite roll it over Clayton's block, and Clayton rejected it right back to her. So the Franklin hitting error, it's 4-3 Hawks. Actually, we'll take it on a more positive track. The Clayton block makes it 4-3 Hawks. Bizzario to serve. Buzz goes cross. Franklin, bad pass. Cullen chases it down. Franklin with swing though. Boy, and again, the pass wasn't great. Still able to set her in the middle, and she hammers it home to tie it at 4. Poljan to serve for the Spartans. Flat-footed fire coming here. Pulls it, rips it over. Slagle, split, behind her to Clayton. Through the block and scores. 5-4 Hawks on the Clayton kill. Hansen goes out, Hinkle comes in. We've got Vanderwide into the front row. Hinkle off the tape. Franklin diving one-handed play. Edmonds comes all the way behind her, rolls it over. Hinkle, good pass to Split. Pushed it all the way out to Vanderwide. Timing's off. Chops it in though. Well, Michigan State's gonna get it over. Ooh, little collision, but Bizzario plays it. Split outside to Vanderwide. High off the block. Cullen has to get it. Behind her now. Ball's way outside. Slagle gets it. Bizzario platforms it. Vanderwide has to come inside. Diving play there. Vanderwide goes up, tips it over. She'll score on the overpass. Add another kill type to Addie's stat sheet tonight. And the Hawks have a 2-point lead, 6-4. Hinkle gets the okay, she'll serve. Hops forward, floats it over. Franklin, ball's going to the middle attack this time. Bizzario uses hands, split, pushes it out to Vanderwide. Dug up, diving play, Cullen's tight, pushes it outside. Big swing there. Max Brown just hammers it home. She hasn't seen a lot of opportunity, but she's got 3 kills on her limited chances. Franklin rolls back to the back row now. She'll serve. Off the tape, Slagle. Split. Clayton. Off to Edmonds as she was trying to pull out of the way. Give Clayton another kill, and it's 7-5. Clayton's now got 5 kills on 10 swings, hitting .500. She's second all-time for the Hawks in kill percentage, so not surprising to see her way up there. Slagle goes at Franklin. Cullen dunks it over. Hawks were ready. They'll get it over. Vanderwide, fall away. Tried to do too much with that one, though, and she'll hit it out. Hawks played the dump well. But Michigan State still really got what they wanted out of it. Good play by Cullen. Hawks still on top, 7-6. Max Brown to serve. Fires it over. Slagle, good pass to Split. Pushes it outside to Vanderwide. Goes right down the line. Cullen chases it down. We're going to get this in play. Platformed over. Slagle, Split. Jones off the block. Edmonds, good play. Cullen goes behind her. Kabengele tips it over. Bizzario. Slagle chases it down. Split platforms it over. Franklin. Cullen. Diving play by Hinkle. Split. Vanderwide tips it off the block, and a beautiful play. Give the freshman another as she tools it off the outside hand there and scores off Cullen. Cullen doesn't quite have the same press that Franklin has there. 8-6 Hawks on top. Ortega will serve. Holds it up high, fires. Goes cross. Max Brown, Cullen. Middle attack from Franklin. Slagle gets it. Hinkle platforms it to Vanderwide. Edmonds. Cullen chases it down. Cabangeli, big swing. Slagle was there, just didn't quite get the platform up high enough to control it. And Cabangeli gets the kill, 8-7 now, Iowa on top. Edmonds to serve for Michigan State. She fires it at Slagle. Ortega outside of Bizzario. Right down the line. Ball's going to get over, though. Slagle, Ortega, back out to Bizzario again. Right down the line. Ball goes out, no touch. We're tied at 8. Love to see Jones get a swing there in system. Hard to argue with Buzz getting a swing, but spread it around a little bit here. Edmonds to serve, tied at 8 here in the second set, right down the line. Vanderwide pushes it all the way out to Bizzario again, has to tip. That finds the floor in front of a diving Franklin. Franklin can do a lot of things offensively, but she's a little slow-footed in the back row, so you can make her move a little bit and see, at the very least, wear her out, make her play the ball. Hawks up by 1, Vanderwide to serve. Dives in front, that'll go for an ace. Max Brown misplays it. Ace serve from Vanderwide. And the Hawks back up by 2. Lots of cleanup again here. Anoid sets the ball down. Get tired of waiting. Gets the okay now. And she'll come forward and fire. Goes cross. Good pass, Cullen. Behind her on the slide. High off the block from Poljan. And it's 10-9. Poljan's got 4 kills. Cullen to the back row, she'll serve. That brings Franklin to the front. Hansen, Ortega off the block. Jones gets blocked. That was Franklin and Poljan that get her. That's what when Franklin gets that right side block, she's bigger than the rest of them. You might want to venture somewhere else. Cullen to serve, tied at 10 here in the second set. Floats it over, Hansen, good pass to Ortega. Back out to Hansen. Diving play by Edmonds. Cabangeli, double contact ball over. She's had a hard time taking free balls. She panicked a platform outside the antenna. Panicked that one with a two-handed spinorama. It's 11-10. Hawks back on top. Jones will serve for the Hawks. Off the tape. It's tight. Cullen outside. Franklin. She goes right at Jones, and that's an easy kill. Now she gets one from the outside position, the left pin. And sends Cabangeli to the service line. We're tied at 11. Low bounces, and she runs it forward. Vanderwide, good pass. Ball comes right side to Bizzario. Cabangeli, good dig. Cullen chases it down. Franklin spins around. Slagle, Ortega, Bizzario again. High off the block, that one will score. As there's only one block there, Hawks score easy. Bizzario gives the Hawks the lead, 12-11, won her 6th kill. Split comes back into the front row, she'll set. Bizzario will serve. Buzz goes cross. Franklin has to play it, it's off the net, can't get it to her that time. High off the hands though from Max Brown will score. Tied again at 12. Poljan to the service line. Back and forth we go here in set 2. Poljan rips. Vanderwide, split. Hansen has to tip right into the block. Split gives it right back to her. Tips again into the block. Slagle behind her to Bizzario in the back row. Goes wide. Hawks not able to do much out of system. They needed to make that change. They've got to count on court to get that ball in and at least make them play it. Michigan State takes the lead, 13-12. Poljan knocks it over. Slagle, bad pass. Nobody helps. And that'll go as an ace as the Hawks just took a big circle around. 14-12, Michigan State on top here in the second. Coach Brown will use a timeout. We'll take it as well. You're listening to Hawkeye Volleyball from Learfield. Welcome back to Carver Hawkeye Arena and Hawkeye Volleyball. Hawks trail set 2, 14-12 after dropping set 1, 25-13. Again, another even set, 4 lead changes and 8 ties. Hawks not slowing Michigan State down any in this set. Michigan State just has 1 hitting error, hitting .316. Hawks have 7 more swings, 2 more kills, but 3 more errors, only hitting .192. Again, the Hawks a little bit self-inflicted there as Michigan State only has 2 blocks, if the stats are correct. Whereas Iowa has 3 at this point. So we just need to find a way to minimize the errors. 5 service errors for the Hawks, just 2 for Michigan State. Both teams have 4 aces. Michigan State out digging the Hawks 22-19. Poljan to serve here midway through the second set. Vanderwide, split. Hansen off the block, covered by Split. Or Slagle, tipped by Bizzario. Max Brown gets it. Cullen pushes it back to Max Brown. Rolls it over. Diving play by Slagle. And that'll fall. And Michigan State on a run now, and it's 15-12. 4 straight for the Spartans. Poljan fires it over. Hansen, split, Bizzario, dug by Cullen. Timing was off again. Poljan bumps it over. Franklin, big swing, and they block her. Hansen and Clayton get it done. Big high ball. It was easy to get the block there. Not so easy to stop her, though. The Hawks get it done. Ball comes over, Split gets the dig. Slagle behind her. Vanderwide gets the kill. Hawks back to within 1. (15-14) they trail. Hinkle to serve. Hinkle fires it over. Good sharp cross. Middle attack coming. Rolls over. Dug by Bizzario. Split plays it out. Vanderwide rolls it over. And a big swing and a big kill from Franklin. (16-14) Michigan State. We're battling bad power here, so we'll keep flying here. Franklin fires at Hinkle. Split off to Clayton. Clayton has to tip it high. Cullen, middle back row attack. And Franklin gets the kill from the back row. Ball goes long. 17-15. Hawks still trail. Slagle to serve for the Hawks. Ball's played up. Cullen behind her. And that was Gross on the slide and the kill on the right side. Big swing from her. 18-15, Michigan State. Still in control of the set. Ball goes off the tape. Diving play by Slagle. Split, gets it up. The Vanderwide will have to just bump it over. (19-15) Spartans on top. I think we've got the power issues settled, so we can pay some more attention here to volleyball again. Max Brown to serve for Michigan State. They're on top by 4. She floats it at Slagle. Split. The Vanderwide pushes it through the block. Edmonds platforms it behind her. Kabengele off the block, dug by Slagle. Split. Pushes it out to Vanderwide again. High off the block and scores. 19-16. Hawks are going to need to find a way to make a move here. Vanderwide with 10 kills now, doing a fantastic job on the outside, hitting .364. Ortega comes forward. Franklin plays it. Back row middle off the tape, and that'll go for a score for Franklin. That's 13 now for her. And it's crunch time for the Hawks at 20-16, Michigan State on top. Edmonds to serve. Hinkle, lunging play. Ortega. Vanderwide from the right side scores as Edmonds can't handle it. 20-17 on the Addie's 11th kill. Hinkle goes out. Hansen comes in. Hawks need something cool. Vanderwide out of system. Franklin still swings at it though. Slagle. Ortega behind her to Bizzario. Blocks late, scores. Poljan was nowhere to be found. And Buzz splits the block. Hawks back to within 2, 20-18. Need more cool stuff. Let's go, Addie. Floats it over. Diving play. Franklin back. Diving play by Slagle again, but the back row kill from Max Brown. 21-18. Hawks were concerned that she was below the line, or on the line. Cullen to serve. Knocks it over. Hansen, ball's tight. No call on either way, hard to imagine. Franklin with a sharp cut kill. Bizzario moved away from it. 22-18 Spartans on top, and the Hawks will take timeout. You're listening to Hawkeye Volleyball from Learfield. Welcome back to Carver Hawkeye Arena. Hawks trail set 2, 22-18 after dropping set 1, 25-23. Hey, Hawkeye fans, get a taste of game day at your home by stopping by Molly's Cupcakes and picking up your favorite cookie or Rice Krispie treat to satisfy your sweet tooth craving. Molly's Cupcakes, located off Clinton Street in the heart of downtown Iowa City. Also haven't done a very good job tonight of thanking Quickstar. They're now the presenting sponsor for Iowa Volleyball. Appreciate their support coming on board and sponsoring Hawkeye Volleyball. Again, Hawks trail set 2, 22-18. Hawks have 13 kills, hitting basically what they did in set 2 at 243, but have not figured out how to slow down Michigan State at all, as Michigan State's hitting 406 now and hitting 359 on the match. So Hawks not able to really get any digs and just a couple of blocks, so have to find a way to jazz up the defensive effort there as Michigan State's kind of run however they wanted through the block, around the block, and with no block. Cullen floats it over. Hansen, bad pass. Ortega behind her to Bizzario. Off the block, diving play by Cullen. Platforms it behind her. Cabangeli, big swing. Comes back, stays on the Michigan State side. Edmonds platforms Cabangeli again, and she hits it over the block and scores. Michigan State just 2 points away now from taking a pretty commanding lead. Hawks will need to make some adjustment with the block here. Cullen floats it over. Slagle, bad pass. Ortega pushes it back to Ortega. Edmonds. Franklin, big swing, finds the corner. Even off balance, she's been more than the Hawks can handle. 15 kills to just 4 hitting errors, hitting .440. And Cullen will serve for the set. Ace serve drops right in front of Slagle and Hansen. And Michigan State cruises to a set 2 win of 25-18. Got a 5-minute timeout here. We'll take a couple of the minutes with the break, and then we will be back. Michigan State leads the Hawks 2-0. You're listening to Hawkeye Volleyball from Learfield. Welcome back to Carver Hawkeye Arena. I'd asked David Rogers what his job was tonight, and he said backup. He just wants the front row seat was why he was here tonight. So he hopes to stay in the seat. So Michigan State leads the Hawks 2-0 after a tight first set and a close, mostly second set. Michigan State pulled away, dominating fashion there to take a 25-18 in the second and lead 2-0. From College Park, the Hawks just scored another touchdown. They lead now 17-7. Haven't caught a more recent update, but that was 17-7 early in the second quarter. So, oh no, that was the 1 yard run. Anyway, the Hawks are up 17-7 there as we get ready to go. Hawk fans, experience your home away from home at Coralville's finest all-suite hotels. Homewood Suites and Home to Suites by Hilton each offer guests spacious suites, complimentary breakfast, 24-hour fitness center, pool, hot tub, guest laundry, and convenient locations. Let their warm and friendly staff take care of you and your family when you visit Hawkeye Country. All right, early in the first set, I mentioned everything was a little disjointed, kind of slow moving. Well, Michigan State solved that problem. Now the Hawks will have to answer, or we'll be in for a short night here. Through two sets, Michigan State hitting 373, 32 kills, 15 by Sarah Franklin, 7 errors to just 7 errors. So very, very efficient offense for Michigan State. Hawks 247, not terrible. 26 kills, but 8 errors. As Michigan State, and those Michigan State only has 2 blocks. So again, Iowa's not being dominated at the net from a blocking standpoint, just hurting themselves with not keeping the ball in play and really just not getting quality swings, as the passing's been somewhat suspect and a little predictable, and it's allowed Michigan State to get a lot of hands on balls, which has then made the digging a little bit easier, as Michigan State has 29 digs, 6 from Edmonds, the libero, and 7 from Cullen, their setter. Speaking of Edmonds, the libero, she'll serve to start set 3, floats it over, Slagle dives and overpasses it. Michigan State in system, runs the right side attack, scores from Poljan. Ball's just dropping in front of the Hawks, and they're having to lunge there at the last minute. And that frantic kind of jarring movement causes a problem. Slagle, better pass this time. Ortega out to Hansen behind her, though. She has to roll it over. Dug up. Max Cullen, big swing, goes wide. Kabengele hits it wide. And we're tied at 1. Some back row attack. Actually, that was just a kind of off-net middle attack from Franklin. She finds another place to score from. Actually, that was back row, as Cullen now rolls to the back row to serve, and Franklin rolls back to the front. Cullen floats it over. Hansen, Ortega behind her to Bizzario. Pole jam block is late. And Bizzario gets the easy kill. Not that you ignore your left side hitter, but with Franklin being a much bigger block, like to see some slides and some right side attacks here. Although we've got split in the front row now, so Bizzario goes hard serve. Out of system, but Franklin gets a big swing, blocked. Edmonds diving play. Cullen platforms it behind her. Kabengele rolls it over. Vanderwide with a dig. Split behind her to Bizzario. Tips it over. Easy play for Kabengele. Cullen. Vanderwide digs it. Split. Hansen blocks late. Ball goes out. No touch called. Boy, looks like 3 people swung at it. Bizzario out. Leanne Lowry will step into the back row. Great to see Leanne playing. But where do the Hawks find offense? 3-2, Michigan State on top. Kabengele to serve. Had to identify the captain with Bizzario leaving the floor. Kamigeli low bounce, comes forward and rips. Vanderwide, split, behind her to Clayton. Diving play by Cullen. Good hustle there from Edmonds as well. But there's that right side attack. Again, kind of getting it away from Franklin. The block just isn't as good with Max Brown and Poljan. Poljan's not getting side to side extremely well. Tied back up at 3, Hinkle in. Mari takes a bounce, flips it over. Max Brown off the net, behind her to Franklin. Middle attack, Slagle gets it. Lowry platforms it. Vanderwide, big swing, wide. Again, self-inflicted wounds for the Hawks. (4-3) Michigan State on top. Poljan on the flat-footed serve coming. Pulls it, floats it over. Hinkle diving play, split, platforms it. Vanderwide has to roll it. Off the block, but Michigan State gets a swing. Lowry digs it up though, split, behind her to Clayton. Off the block, dug up by Danziger. Ball's tight, Cullen. Franklin, oh man. Cullen has just done a fantastic job of moving it around the block. When she doesn't hit it hard, she positions it and plays it well. And Michigan State back up 5-3. Poljan floats it over Hinkle. Michigan State, I don't know, give that one to Gross or Franklin. I don't think you can give half kills, but that's about the way that one worked out. The Hawk passing, struggling a little bit again. Lowry will step up this time. Hawks trying to make an adjustment to the serve receive. Hinkle, split, outside to Vanderwide. Blocked by Franklin. Again, to me, you're going to the biggest player they've got. Move the ball around. And let's see Clayton take a swing. Poljan, Hawks have to stop the run here. Knocks it over, Lowry, split, behind her to Clayton. High off the block, scores. It just doesn't always seem that difficult, but boy, you can make it hard sometimes. 7-4, Hawks trail here early in the third. Slagle to serve. She goes at Franklin. Cullen, middle attack. Gross hammers it home. Michigan State having a lot of fun right now. Ortega is going to come back in for split. As Hawks at this point try to do anything different. Franklin to serve. Top spin to Hinkle. Ortega pushes it out to Vanderwide, has to tip it. Edmonds gets it. Cullen, back row to Franklin. Timing was bad there. We finally get a hitting error. Update from College Park. Hawks score again, 24-7. They lead with 10:53 to go in the second. On another Petrus touchdown run. I think that's 2 for him. Ortega spins and serves. Good sharp cross. Edmonds, bad pass. Cullen chases it down. Max Brown off the block. Slagle gets it though. Ortega chases it down. Vanderwide, good chop. She's dug up though. Cullen pushed it out. Roll shot. Dug by Hinkle. Dug by Slagle. Ortega. Vanderwide off the tape. Oh my goodness. For as good as Addie's been, that one was lucky, but she'll take it as she just pounds it into the tape. Block falls, ball rolls over the tape and drops right in front of the block. 8-6 on the Vanderwide kill. A little more floor cleanup coming. Vanderwide with 12 now. Michigan State didn't like the cleanup job from the cleaning crew. Gross doing it on her own now. 8-6. Hawks trying to crawl back in it. Ortega poses, fires. Edmonds. Ball's tight. Cullen behind her. Timing was off, but still scores with a Gross kill. Gross has got 6 now. She's hitting .555. 556, I guess you're going to round correctly. Max Brown to serve for Michigan State. Rolls forward, goes cross at Vanderwide. Ortega outside of Bizario. High off the block, dug by Edmonds. Cullen behind her to Franklin. Off the tape, dug by Hinkle. Ortega, middle attack from Jones. Dug by Franklin. Cullen pushes it outside. Cavangeli. Ball was long, but probably touched. Slagle tried to dive, couldn't get it. Cavangeli kill, and it's 10-6 Michigan State. A lot of cleanup on the Michigan State side right now. I guess maybe that's the sign of a lot of people on the floor diving and hustling at this point. Max Brown will serve for the Spartans. Green tape on her right hand. She comes forward and floats it over. Ace serve, her second of the night. And I know it's early, but the Hawks in trouble here in set 3. (11-6) Spartans. Michigan State just served. It was an ace serve, and their side's wet. There's no reason they're going to be delaying the game, though, so clearly it's... If I worked as hard as Sarah Franklin's worked tonight, I'd probably be sweating too. So 11-6, Michigan State on top here in the third. Max Brown to serve. Floats it over again. Slagle dives. Ortega dug up. It's on the Michigan State side. Tipped over. Play by Hinkle. Big swing from Jones, and she hits it straight down. Cullen actually played it after the block. Amaya's second kill, and it's 11-7. Vanderwide to serve for the Hawks. Floats it over. Max Brown. Ball's in the net there from Gross. Cullen sets out to the right side. They're quick, but they're low. Timing's got to be perfect there. Missed connection. Hawks back to within 3. Vanderwide goes at Franklin. Off the net. Cullen goes back to Franklin. Hammers it home. Finds the seam in the 2 back row defenders, and she goes between Ortega and Vanderwide. With the way the Hawks back row is playing, I'd almost not block her dead middle and block her off to one of the angles and make her go straight. Edmonds floats it over. Slagle uses hands. Ortega to Jones. Tipped and covered. Back row attack dug by Slagle. Ortega behind her to Bizario. She has to tip. Ball was tight. Goes right into the net. Not a good backside set there. And it's 13-8. And we've again got a lot of cleanup going on. Edmonds to serve for the Spartans. Hawks need to find a way to start their own run here. Edmonds floats it over. Slagle. Ortega. Ball was touched by Michigan State. Bizario. Ortega. Hansen. Blocked. Ball goes out. Hawks score. Michigan State wants 4, but their blocker clearly touched the ball. And Poljan's telling her she touched it. It just looked weird, especially if you're behind and can't see. 13-9. Hawks still trail. Jones to serve. She goes over, type. Max Brown. Gelly, big swing off the block. Jones gets called for double contact as Ortega had to use the first one. 14-9 now. Hawks trail. Cullen serves. That brings Franklin back into the front row. Hawks need to figure out a way to get this done in a hurry. Cullen to Vanderwide. It's off the net. Ortega outside. Big swing from Hanson, but she's dug up. Max Brown will get a back row swing. Rolls it over, uses Ortega. Slagle, back row attack from Vanderwide. Rolls it into the net. 15-9. Coach Brown still sitting on 2 timeouts. Hasn't used either yet. Cullen to serve. Floats it over, Slagle. Ortega. Pizarro high off the block. Platform behind. Franklin's going to get a swing. Tips it over. Pizarro blocks it. Franklin will get another swing. Rolls it over. Dug by Vanderwide. Ortega outside of Hanson. Touched, scores. 15-10. Split back in for Ortega. And Pizarro to serve. If the Hawks could ever use a run of serves, it's now. Bad pass, Cullen. Cavangelli's blocked. That was Clayton and Hanson with the block. 15-11. Pizarro to serve again. Comes forward. Floats it over. Max Brown off the net. Franklin, big swing again. She's got all the shots. She's used every angle. Pizarro goes out. Franklin is a redshirt freshman, so the Hawks better get used to dealing with her. 16-11, Michigan State on top. Cavangelli to serve. Long. Hawks finally catch a break. 16-12. Hanson goes out. Hinkle comes in. Hawks need to find a way to make a little run here. Hinkle goes cross at Edmonds. Cullen way behind her, Poljan. Goes right between Slagle and Hinkle and scores, 17-12. Poljan back to serve. She's given the Hawks some trouble there. Michigan State hitting .296 again in this set. 3:51 for the match. Poljan floats it over. Hinkle, bad pass, split. Clayton has to just kind of punch it over. Back row from Franklin. Slagle gets it. Lowry uses hands. Vanderwide fell down in transition though, but catches a break as Danziger sticks her hand up at the last second and knocks it out of bounds. Vanderwide's got 13 kills now. She's been impressive tonight again, scoring in lots of different ways. 14's her career high against Syracuse. Edmonds plays it. Cullen. Big swing, dug by Slagle. Split, comes all the way. Vanderwide gets a roll shot, dug by Danziger. Cullen, outside. Max Brown hammers it off the block and scores. 18-13. Franklin to the back row. That'll move front row setter. Coach Brown will call timeout. 18-13, Michigan State looking to close this match out. You're listening to Hawkeye Volleyball from Learfield. Welcome back to Carver Hawkeye Arena and Iowa Volleyball. Iowa trails set 3, 18-13, and trail the match 2-0. Just a reminder, we'll try to catch Coach Brown right after the game for a coach's interview presented by Oak Knoll. Speaking of Oak Knoll, looking to downsize from your family home? The new Oak Knoll East campus is now open and offers many unique amenities for your active lifestyle. Call 319-351-1720 or visit oakknoll.com to set up your personal tour. Oak Knoll is a proud supporter of the Iowa Hawkeyes. Hawkeyes going to have to find a little zip here, trailing 18-13 now in the third. And we've got Franklin at the service line. Knocks it over, Hinkle. Good pass to Split. Outside to Vanderwide. Right down the line, dug by Edmonds, but out. Kill number 14 for Addie, ties her career high. Bizzario comes in for Lowry to the front row. Ortega comes in for Split, she'll serve. Bailey needs to serve invisible here. See if she goes at Franklin. Bailey comes forward. Floats it over, does not, goes at Max Brown. Slide coming. And that's Gross, who goes right through the Jones-Vanderwide block, 19-14. Kabengele comes back in. Danzinger goes out. Max Brown will serve. She spent some time at the line, 3 aces tonight. And they've been soft. They've fallen in front of the Hawkeye defense. She hasn't overpowered anybody. Slagle, ball's way off the net again. Ortega chases it down. Vanderwide has to roll it over Cross. Edmonds gets it. Cross blocked. Uses hands, double contact called, and the Hawks catch a break there, 19-15. Monty Pottebaum, the fullback for the Hawkeyes, scored on a 2-yard run. Hawks lead 31-7 with 5:46 to go in the second quarter. Hawks trail here in the third. Vanderwide at the service line. She's had a great night, 14 kills, hitting .265. Throw in 4 digs, an ace. But so far, the Hawks haven't found any offense anywhere else. Good serve, ball's off the net. Cullen, Kabengele goes wide. It's really where the Hawks' chances are going to come here is if they can just get Michigan State a little out of system, make sure they can't find Franklin every time. Vanderwide to serve again. Goes over at Franklin this time. Back row attack coming from Franklin. Dug by Vanderwide. Slagle chases it down behind her. Hanson will get a swing, and she completely misses. 20-16, Michigan State. Edmonds back to the service line for Michigan State. Hawks have to side this out right now. Edmonds floats it over. Slagle. Ball's up. Jones gets the kill. Hanging around, 20-17. Jones to serve. 2 aces, 2 errors. If I'm voting on the coin flip, give me another ace. Amaya floats it over. Max Brown plays it. Cullen off the net. Back row. Franklin tips. And she's laughing before the ball hits the floor because that's how good she's been tonight. That is 20. 5 digs, 2 blocks, an assist. And now she's in the front row. Hitting .421 tonight. Cullen to serve. Floats it over at Slagle. Behind Bizario's, blocked by Franklin. The Hawks will use a timeout. We'll stick with it now as we're just about finished here. But Hawks just haven't done a very good job of identifying where Franklin is, offensively or defensively. She's 6'4". She's by far the biggest player they have, and she's going to catch nearly all of their off-system sets. and the Hawks have had one block, no blocks, haven't really been able to see what she's doing. She comes hard, but from the back row, she's used a lot of touch and finesse, and the Hawks haven't been able to handle it. And then you come to a play like that, where the middle block has tended to be late, but that time you've got the 6'4" blocker versus the smaller blocker on the other side. You know, maybe you go test middle, maybe you go test the other side. But we haven't been able to do it. 22-17, Michigan State on top. Iowa Volleyball is brought to you by the University of Iowa Sports Medicine, offering sports injury prevention, treatment, and rehabilitation to athletes of all ages and skill levels. University of Iowa Sports Medicine, team physician of your Iowa Hawks. 22-17 here in the third. Michigan State took the first 25-23, took the second 25-18, and really have kind of continued the roll here in the third, up 22-17. We've only had 3 tie scores here after having 17 ties in the first 2 sets, along with 6 lead changes. So Hawks hitting 091 here in set 3 to 286 for Michigan State. Michigan State hitting 343 on the match to just 198 for the Hawks. Both teams blocking about the same, but it's just been those 15 errors for the Hawks with only 5 blocks. So most of those errors unforced as the Hawks have tried to find a way around. Cullen floats it over Slagle. Ace serve as Cullen gets into Slagle's chest and she can't handle it. Michigan State just 2 points away now from the sweep. Cullen's second ace on the night. She comes forward again. Slagle, bad pass. Ortega behind her to Bizzario, off the block. Franklin can't find it this time. The Hawks score 23-18. They trail. Bizzario back to the service line for the Hawks. More cleanup on the Michigan State side of the court. Bizzario to serve. Hawks in need of a big run here. Court goes forward. Franklin, ball's tight. Good handle. Franklin punches it over. Ball goes wide. No touch from the Hawks. We'll get one back, 23-19. Bizzario to serve again. Court goes at Franklin again. Another bad pass. Hansen hits it right at Franklin, who gets a lucky dig. Bizzario. Hansen's blocked, covered though. Ortega, slide to Clayton. Touch, score. 23-20. Hawks hanging around. Coach George up, thinking maybe. Down ref checks her out. She's going to let her team play through it. See if Buzz can get one more for the Hawks. Off the tape, Franklin gets it. She's on the floor. She'll still get a swing. Goes right down the line. Bizzario right back over to the right side attack. Cavangeli, diving play by Vanderwide. Ortega to Hansen, double contact. Oofta. 24-20. Michigan State will look to close out the Hawks. Cavangeli to serve for Michigan State. She bounces, fires into the net, stays on the Michigan State side. Set point number 1, saved for the Hawks. Hansen out. Hinkle. The match will last as long as Hinkle can serve. She comes forward, and she serves once into the net, and that'll do it. Hawks fall 25-23, 25-18, and 25-21. We will be back in Carver Hawkeye Arena tomorrow night as the Hawks will take on Michigan. We'll see. Looks like Coach Brown's moving to the locker room, so it might be a little bit. We'll take a short break. We'll come back with the post-game interview with Coach Brown, presented by Oak Knoll. Hawks fall in 3 to the Spartans. We'll come back with some stats, and hopefully we'll get Coach Brown right away. You're listening to Hawkeye Volleyball from Learfield. Welcome back to Carver Hawkeye Arena and Hawkeye Volleyball. A quick stat rundown here. Give Coach Brown just a couple minutes to see before we wrap up here. Hawks started fast, hit 257 in set 1, 237 in the second, then fell to 135 in set 3. Michigan State ended up with just 5 blocks. 3 from Sarah Franklin, 3 from Rebecca Poljan, 2 from Nia Gross, and then 1 solo block from Kylan Gelly. Hawks got 4 from Hannah Clayton and 4 from Kendra Hansen, but the struggle was real in getting touches on the ball and really slowing down the Michigan State offense, as Michigan State hit 324. 312 in the first, 429 in the second, and 237 then in set 3. Funny enough, their third set hitting percentage was the worst, but that was the one where they really seemed to run in command. My man Sam's trying to catch Coach Brown for us, so we'll hang around here for just another minute here as we try to see if we can get Vicky before we wrap up here. Again, the Hawks fall in straight sets tonight, 25-23, 25-18, and 25-21. We'll be back again tomorrow night as the Hawks take on Michigan. Same time, 7 o'clock. Same place here in Carver Hawkeye Arena. To get reacquainted with the new old surroundings. I was talking to Coach Brown before the match, and she'd mentioned I'd asked when the last time they hadn't played on the TerraFlex floor was, and she said there's usually had been a match every year later in the year after basketball season starts in early November. There seemed to always be one home basketball game, whether it was women's or men's game, that coincided with a match day or close enough to a match day where they weren't able to get the floor down, and so the Hawks had to play on the hardwood basketball court. So probably been at least 2 years, maybe even pushing 3. As we'll see here, we'll We can get Coach Brown out here real quick before we wrap up. Trying to close down the Big Ten Network feed, so I think we've got him good now. Hawks still on top 31-7. Looks like they're trying to drive here near the end of the first half to score a few more points. Question was, what could the Hawks defense do with the Maryland offense? Might have been the other question. What can the Maryland defense do with the newly explosive Hawks offense? It's kind of fun. Big thanks to the Big Ten guy, Big Ten Plus crew guy, who's letting me see his feed as he tears down here. He's going to need to unplug me though, so we'll see if I can keep Vicky. Hawks have got third down, minute 16 to go. We're going to give Coach Brown the 3rd and 17 play, and then we're going to wrap up if she hasn't wandered back out here. Iowa breaks the huddle. Play clock running down. They're going to have to burn a timeout here. And they do. Timeout Hawks, 31-7 with 53 seconds to go in the first half. Michigan State's leaving the floor. We're going to go ahead and put a bow on it tonight. Coach Brown in the locker room. Big thank you again to Quickstar, our presenting sponsor of Iowa Volleyball. Great to have them on board this year. Thank you for listening to Hawkeye Volleyball. I am John Evans. Hawks lose in 3 to Michigan State, but they'll be back at it tomorrow night. Thanks for listening and have a great evening, everyone.